What would you do if the ground beneath your feet suddenly exploded with fire and ash? Mount Etna, Europe's most active volcano, just erupted again. But why does it keep waking up? Could an even bigger eruption be around the corner? In today's video, we'll uncover the secrets of this living mountain and what might be boiling beneath Sicily's surface right now. Mount Etna is not just a mountain, it's a force of nature. Located on the east coast of Sicily, Italy, between the cities of Catania and Messina, it rises over 3,300 meters, or 11,000 feet, into the sky. But more than its height, what makes Etna so fascinating is its activity. This is not a sleepy volcano, it's very much alive. Etna is Europe's tallest and most active volcano. It's a stratovolcano, which means it's built up over thousands of years by layers of hardened lava, ash, and rock. The volcano spans more than 1,190 square kilometers and has a base that stretches 140 kilometers around. Its fiery personality is hinted at by its name. Etna comes from the Greek word Etna, which means I burn. What's truly unique about Mount Etna is that it doesn't have just one crater. It has multiple summit craters, including the northeast crater, Voragine, Bocca Nuova, southeast crater, and the new southeast crater. There's also the saddle cone, which appeared in 2017. Each of these craters can erupt in its own way, sometimes shooting lava fountains high into the sky, sometimes sending ash and gas drifting over nearby villages. Etna isn't just a volcano, it's a mountain that breathes, shifts, and grows with every eruption. It's constantly writing its own story, sometimes slowly, sometimes violently. What happens? During an eruption, when Mount Etna erupts, it all starts deep underground. Molten rock called magma rises up toward the surface. As it moves higher, pressure builds until it finally breaks through weak points in the mountain. The result? A fiery blast of lava, ash, steam, and gas. Most of Etna's eruptions are what scientists call strombolian. That means they're short, explosive bursts of glowing lava, cinder, and ash. These eruptions light up the sky and can be seen from miles away, but they're usually not strong enough to destroy entire towns. Still, Etna can be unpredictable. Sometimes it releases something much more dangerous: pyroclastic flows. These are fast-moving clouds of gas, ash, and rock that can travel down the slopes at incredible speeds. They're rare, but deadly. Luckily, Etna's geography often keeps these flows from reaching populated areas. Each eruption can also change the shape of the volcano. New craters appear, old ones collapse, and the mountain's height can grow or shrink depending on the force of the explosion. In 2024, for example, a new summit cone in the Voragine crater rose tens of meters higher than the other craters. Etna is constantly evolving. Its eruptions are not just destructive, they are creative, reshaping the land and even making it more fertile for future life. Historic eruptions. Etna's fiery legacy. Mount Etna has a long history of eruptions, some of them truly terrifying. One of the most destructive events happened in 1669. For 4 months, from March to July, the volcano poured lava onto the land, wiping out entire villages and reaching the city walls of Catania. People even tried to dig trenches to redirect the lava, one of the earliest examples of volcano engineering. Another major eruption in 1381 sent rivers of lava 16 kilometers across the land, all the way to the Ionian Sea. Since then, the volcano has kept erupting again and again. In 1928, lava destroyed a train line and buried the village of Mascali. In 1971, lava came dangerously close to orchards and homes. Between 1991 and 1993, a long eruption gave scientists a chance to study lava flows closely. Then came shorter bursts in the early 2000s, including a 417-day eruption between 2008 and 2009. In just the last few years, Etna has erupted multiple times. In 2011, 2018, and again in 2021 and 2022, the volcano reminded everyone it was still active. In 2024, a powerful blast sent ash nearly 10 kilometers into the air, shutting down airports in the region. These eruptions show that Etna is not sleeping. It's just taking breaks between powerful shows of energy. June 2nd, 2025, Etna's latest fury. One of the most intense eruptions in recent memory happened on June 2nd, 2025. Around mid-morning, part of the southeast crater collapsed, and then everything happened fast. Lava fountains shot into the sky. Ash clouds rose more than 6,000 meters, twice as high as Etna itself. A dangerous pyroclastic flow raced 2 kilometers down into the Valle del Leone, all in less than a minute. Tourists on the mountain were caught by surprise. Videos showed people running from clouds of smoke, ash, and falling rocks. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the pyroclastic flow didn't reach any villages. The eruption was so powerful that satellites in space could see it. Glowing lava, thick smoke, and rivers of ash were captured from orbit. This was the 14th eruption of Etna just since March, proving 2025 is one of its most active years in recent history. Airports in Catania and Palermo issued alerts, and flights were rerouted. Though scientists called the eruption medium-sized, it was still the largest since 2014. And another reminder that Etna's power is always just beneath the surface. Why does Etna erupt so often? The reason Etna erupts so often lies deep underground. Sicily sits on a fault line where 2 of Earth's tectonic plates, the African plate and the Eurasian plate, collide. As the African plate slides under the Eurasian plate, it pushes hot magma upward. That magma finds its way into Etna's many craters. Because of this constant pressure, Etna doesn't build up energy for centuries like some volcanoes. Instead, it releases small bursts regularly. These strombolian eruptions, while loud and dramatic, help release pressure and reduce the risk of massive explosions. Still, each eruption changes the mountain. New layers of lava build the land higher. Craters collapse and form again. Fertile soil spreads across the slopes, which is why the region is filled with vineyards, olive trees, and orchards. But there are dangers too. Collapsing slopes can trigger landslides. Gas can leak from vents. That's why Etna is closely watched by the Istituto Nazionale di Geofisica e Vulcanologia. Scientists use earthquake sensors, GPS systems, and satellite images to monitor every move. So while Etna erupts often, it's also one of the most studied volcanoes in the world. What did we learn from the 2025 eruption? The June 2nd, 2025 eruption of Mount Etna taught us valuable lessons. First, natural features helped contain the eruption, preventing injuries as the pyroclastic flow stayed in a valley. However, many tourists ignored early warnings, risking their lives. Volcanic activity can shift suddenly, so staying informed is crucial. The eruption also tested aviation safety. This time, new systems allowed flights to reroute swiftly, avoiding chaos. Finally, scientists believe this event is part of a longer active phase that began in 2022. Etna isn't done yet. Each eruption offers new clues, reminding us that volcanoes are unpredictable and demand our constant attention. Could a massive eruption happen again? The biggest question on everyone's mind: could Mount Etna have another massive eruption like the one in 1669? Scientists say it's possible, but unlikely anytime soon. Because Etna erupts often, it releases pressure gradually, reducing the risk of a massive explosion. The real danger usually comes from slow-moving lava, gas, and ash. Fortunately, modern tools like earthquake sensors, gas monitors, and satellites help track its activity. Etna's frequent eruptions actually make it safer by preventing pressure buildup. Still, it's important to stay alert, follow expert advice, and respect the mountain's power. Etna is both beautiful and dangerous, and that's what makes it one of the world's most fascinating volcanoes. Mount Etna isn't just Europe's tallest volcano, it's a living, breathing giant. From ancient eruptions that shaped towns to the spectacular explosion of June 2025, this mountain continues to command respect and curiosity. Scientists monitor it closely, and while the future is uncertain, one thing's for sure: Etna's story isn't over. If you enjoyed learning about the incredible history and power of Mount Etna, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating videos about our amazing planet.